Hi, my name is Eric Yap, and I'm the artist behind Treatment3. For over a decade, my laboratory has been discovering and characterizing new bacteria and phages from environments across Singapore and Southeast Asia, from roads to reservoirs and from forests to cities. Each discovery represents a small revelation, a perfectly evolved biological machine shaped by billions of years of natural selection. Each one a precisely designed and finely tuned engine, and each with dozens to thousands of moving parts that breathe, that grow, reproduce, and adapt. As a Singaporean scientist and doctor, I am constantly navigating between scales that seem incompatible. You see, in the lab, I work with entities measured in nanometers, billions of meter, visible only through electron microscopy. I also sequence their genomes, analyze their protein structures, study their evolutionary relationships. And then I step outside into the human scale world of buildings and reservoirs, city skylines. The perceptual disconnect between these realms has always fascinated me. How can something so infinitesimally small be so consequentially important? So, Treatment3 emerged from my desire to collapse this distance, to make the invisible visible in a way that honors both the scientific accuracy as well as has aesthetics. The supersized bacteriophages attacking the bacteria in marina reservoir aren't pure fiction. These interactions actually occur billions of times daily in that exact location, maintaining the water quality that makes our reservoir system viable. By composing them against the Marina Bay skyline, I create a scale comparison that makes this billion-fold difference comprehensible. You see, the towers behind are a billion times larger than the phage in the foreground. But I also wanted the artwork to function on multiple levels. So from across the room, you see a dramatic war scene, a biodefense scene rendered in vivid colors. And as you step closer, the image dissolves into its constituent parts. There are 21,600 individual tiles, each containing an electron micrograph of a real virus phage that scientists and labs across the world have discovered. Many were named by students or by citizen scientists participating in these voluntary projects. They aren't generic viral images. These are scientific documents, each one representing months or years of work by real people. Now, the three themes, there are three: scale, diversity, and treatment. They reflect my growing conviction that we are approaching a critical moment in medical history. You see, antimicrobial resistance or the superbug crisis is eroding the efficacy of antibiotics. They're potentially returning us to a pre-penicillin era where routine infections become deadly. And phage therapy, once dismissed by Western medicine in favor of chemical antibiotics, it's experiencing a renaissance. The phages I study aren't just research subjects, they're potential therapies, environmental guardians, biotechnological tools. Yet they remain largely invisible to public consciousness. Despite being the most abundant biological entities on Earth, outnumbering all other organisms combined, phages receive just a fraction of the attention deserved. Compared to, say, pandas, tigers, coral reefs. So this artwork is my attempt to grant them visual presence, commensurate with their ecological importance. The interactive elements reflect my commitment to citizen science and public engagement. Science shouldn't exist only in journals and labs. It should be participatory, accessible, and yes, sometimes playful. So I've created a Find Wally game that acknowledge Yeah, that when you start looking closely and look for that specific phage amongst thousands, it's the way that science works as well as art. So we've made collectible cards, unique ones, each one representing the 5,000 or so phages that are in this artwork. We've made these collectible cards, as well as we've invited participants to join our voluntary project called Puma, profiling urban microbes in Asia. And so this extends the artwork beyond gallery walls. It transforms viewers into possibly active participants in microbiological discovery. Well, creating this artwork required actually writing custom software to process, to color code and colorize, and then to mosaic these thousands of EM photos. It's a technical challenge that mirrors the computational biology work I do daily in analyzing genomic data. The process actually felt natural to me precisely because it merged both artistic and scientific thinking. The aesthetic judgment about color and composition alongside the algorithmic problem solving and data processing. For instance, each of the colors for the phages actually corresponds to their genomic similarity. So it's not just a random colorization. I see Treatment3 as both documentation and speculation. It documents real organisms discovered through rigorous scientific investigation. It speculates about a future where these organisms become partners in maintaining human and environmental health. It asks viewers to expand their definition of biodiversity beyond charismatic megafauna to include the ultra-microscopic world that actually runs the planet. More fundamentally, this work is an art of advocacy. These viruses, not just the pathogens that we are concerned about, but these benign, beneficial viruses defend our waters. They cycle our nutrients. They offer therapeutic potential against superbugs. They deserve our attention, our research funding, and our appreciation. If this artwork convinces even a few viewers to look differently at the drop of reservoir water, to consider the invisible ecosystems operating beneath every surface, well, perhaps to support continued research into phage biology and therapy. If it does any of these, then it would have succeeded beyond my expectations. The microbial world has always been there, shaping our evolution, our health, our environment. Treatment3 simply makes it monumental and unavoidably present. Thank you for joining us.